executive director of Big Arts is at a complete loss as to why both Big Arts and NCH have vaccine mandates for employees, but not for patrons and certainly not for patients. Still, both are now among 120 businesses and governments under investigation by the Florida Department of Health. What do Starbucks, an Orlando Harry Styles concert, Naples Community Hospital, and a Sanibel Arts Center all have in common? On the surface, nothing. But according to documents obtained by the Orlando Sentinel, all are now under investigation by the Florida Department of Health for violating the state's vaccine passport law.
Well, I just was wondering why we were on the list since we are not requiring vaccination. We're not mandating vaccinations.
Leigh Ann Harder is the executive director of Big Arts on Sanibel Island, where vaccines are required for staff. But she told me never patrons. So when I told her Big Arts made it on the list, she was shocked and anxious to clear something up.
We're not in that business of deciding, who should do what. We just want our patrons, volunteers, staff, everybody to feel safe.
NCH also on the list, also mandates vaccines for staff. The hospital system just let go more than 100 staff members who refused to comply.
Well, we don't know how this list was generated. Like, how do people and businesses end up on the list?
We don't know because the Department of Health won't say. Aubrey Jewett is a political scientist based out of UCF. He's closely followed the politics of vaccines in Florida and the very different politics of vaccines in Washington.
Well, we're definitely getting contradictory advice and rules from the federal government and from the state government. And so who gets caught in the middle are the businesses and people who live right here in Florida.
And if the state finds that a local business or government broke state law, they could face up to $5,000 in fines per violation. For a small business like Big Arts, that could really hurt. NCH did not respond to my questions specific to the DOH investigation.